with House of Chiron, and I make the language of astrology digestible for all of y'all. So, not only am I your favorite astrologer, but I am also your Reiki master, your mental health professional, and your community activist. I've added that one recently. All right. So, that being said, we are here to discuss the new moon at 20 degrees Scorpio. Okay, but before we dive into that, I just want to say hello and welcome back to all of my House of Chiron family members. But if you are new to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you will not miss a beat. Now, also keep in mind that I am open for readings as well as Reiki sessions. So if you are looking to get your natal chart read, we have those things available as well as Reiki appointments. You can hit the description box for all of that information. Now, for this particular video, I use whole sign Western astrology for my general readings. So keep that in mind once we get into the portion for all readings for all 12 signs. All right. So now, with that being said, let's dive right on in to this energy for the new moon that happens on November 13th at 3:27 a.m. Central Time. So this is going to be a new moon at 20 degrees Scorpio. So new moons, what are new moons? They're a time to set new intentions. It is when the sun and moon are in a conjunction, meaning that they are in the same sign at the same degree. So in this case, the sun and moon are together at 20 degrees in the sign of Scorpio. So that means that the moon joins the sun. So we're currently in Scorpio season, and the moon has made its cycle around to join the sun in Scorpio, and they are meeting together at 20 degrees. Now, these moments are a time for us to set intentions for the goals and for the path that we see far ahead. And this new moon is happening in Scorpio, which is a very transformative and potent sign. Scorpio is co-ruled by both Mars and Pluto. And so we're going to look at both where Mars and where Pluto currently is, because they're going to be adding a bit of a nuance to this new moon energy. Now, Mars is currently in almost an exact conjunction with this new moon because Mars is in Scorpio, so it has returned home. Whereas Pluto is moving through the last degrees of Capricorn before it re-enters Aquarius for the next 20 years. So Pluto was retrograde and it retrograde back from Aquarius into Capricorn. So now it's moving back forward. So we are going to be having a bit of energy associated with both of these planets. Now, this new moon is accentuating that Scorpio energy, the innate ability for transformation and regeneration, right? Presenting a dynamic opportunity to act pretty quickly on those things that we're passionate about, as well as our desires, right? So keep that in mind, because that Mars energy is there, and Mars represents action. It represents forward movement. It represents quick, swift things. It also can represent cutting ties with something, right? Because Mars also rules things like knives. So keep that in mind. Now, this lunar energy and this event is going to be spotlighting the Scorpio energy that can kind of be like a chameleon, right? The chameleon ability to transform, right? So we're talking about the phoenix that's rising from its own ashes, and it's offering us an electric opportunity to, like I said before, act swiftly upon our most passionate yearnings and our hidden desires. Now, also keep in mind, because it's here with Mars, it can be a little bit of like a mean new moon, I guess you can say. It's kind of like very blunt and forward in all the things that it's doing. So it can kind of come through in a very mean way. So yeah, just be aware of that. Now, aligned with this new moon, like I said, Mars is there. It's the ruler of Scorpio, but it's also making connections with the other co-ruler, which is a harmonious connection with Pluto that's in Capricorn. And we are like tapping kind of like tapping into this spring of inner strength and determination, with both of these energies playing a part. So we can see this as like a mighty river, right? Kind of carving its way through like this solid rock, clearing out any obstacles that's standing between us and the realization or the actualization of our deepest desires, right? Bringing these things to fruition. Now, the new moon also is in an opposition to Uranus. So this is where things kind of get interesting, right? So in opposition brings a certain level of tension, because that means that things are at odds with one another, right? So the sun, moon, and Mars are at odds with Uranus. Uranus is all about things that are electrifying, right? Surprises and unexpected turns of events, but it's also about liberation and freedom. And, it's about community and, innovation, and, Uranus rules things like technology. So kind of keep that in mind, that it's promising, with this energy being in opposition, a series of electrifying, like, twists and turns that's far ahead on our path. Now, also, there's going to be that connection with Mars and Uranus, right? So not only is Uranus going to be affecting the sun and moon that are in a conjunction, but also Mars, because it's very close into conjunction as well. And this can either work in our favor or bring challenges. It just depends on, how it decides to manifest in your individual charts. So contingent upon our awareness and our consciousness as well. So kind of keep that in mind if you are aware of what's going on, and if you have a level of the ability to practice the pause before you respond or react to certain things. Now, however, there's always things that are beyond our control. And so these are one of those things that just may manifest in our life. So it might spark like a certain burst of like creative innovation or physical energy that can like push us towards achieving our goals, or it could lead to hasty and reckless actions that actually disrupt our lives and the plans that we're trying to, set in place to achieve those goals down the future. So in essence, this new moon in Scorpio is really like empowering us. In essence, empowering our intentions, especially when we pair them with, inspired and decisive action. So create a plan, practice the pause. I know like there might be some things that come up during the time of this new moon that makes you want to like act swiftly. However, because Mars is there and Uranus is there and it's electrifying, and it makes you just kind of want to bust out your bubble. And this might, bring strife more than anything else if you kind of take that route. So to make the most of this lunar event, we must be prepared for disruptions, right? So kind of be aware that, it might come up, it might not. We have to be prepared for a surprising turn of events, moments of impatience. And also the risk of overextending ourselves or making impulsive decisions that we may later regret. So it's like I said, it's important to practice the pause, rethink and think twice and think thrice if you must. Just kind of remember that this is underscoring the importance of taking that pause for reflection before you take action. The new moon in Mars seem to be influenced by Neptune's energy also, because it's making a trine to Neptune that's in Pisces. So this is enhancing our capacity to connect with our inner selves and our higher consciousness, but also could bring in a level of illusionment, so we might be a little delusional about what's going on, not able to see reality for what it really is. And so this can also kind of tailor in that impulsive kind of reactive energy that's there, because we're not seeing things as clear as we should be. This alignment really is encouraging us to use our emotions, use our imagination and our artistic skills to bring our dreams and passions to life, instead of reacting in a negative way, so to speak. I will say, use the higher octave of that Neptune energy, because it might heighten our ability to empathize and understand others in a better way by fostering deeper connections and relationships. Okay. So that is what I have for the general overview for this new moon at 20 degrees Scorpio. So now let's get into the readings for all 12 signs. But before we do so, I would like to just remind you a few quick announcements. So we still have the astrology merch, right? So the House of Chiron merch is still available. We have the Astro and Afros shirts, we have hoodies, we have hats. We also have the Cosmically Locked shirts, hoodies, hats. We also have just House of Chiron merch, where it has the House of Chiron branding on there. So you can hit that description box below to find all of those links that will take you to the website so you can place your order just in time for the holiday season. Okay. So additionally, we have a a free PDF, a cheat sheet that is on our website. So if you sign up for our newsletter, you can download your free 30-page cheat sheet that is available to you. It gives you all the lingo and the language that you need to know in order to understand what it is that I'm talking about. When I say conjunctions and trines and all that kind of stuff, you'll be able to kind of get, the lingo. So yeah. And like I said before, we still have our astrology readings as well as our Reiki sessions that are available. I only do a certain amount per month. So go ahead and book yours as soon as possible because the first come, first serve. All right. So that is all that I have for the announcements. Now, moving on into the readings for all 12 signs, we are first going to start with Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay, so like I always mention, make sure you are listening for all three. Okay, your big three, your Sun, Moon, and your Rising. Your Sun is going to be secondary because that is mostly focused on your goals, your career. It's just your focus overall. Your Rising is the primary reading that is more directly connected to you. It's more personal and it's more accurate for your sign. And then last but not least will be your moon sign because that is more subjective. It represents your home, family life, and current living situations. All right. So for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this Scorpio new moon is happening in your 8th house, which represents new sources of income through maybe government funded things, starting a new job that brings in more financial stability. Also, possibly that your partner's finances could start a new journey at this time. So, it's also a great time to discuss bills and debts and kind of getting a plan in order because there could be new sources of income or just kind of like figuring out how you're going to split the bills or how you're going to pay off certain debts. This is a wonderful time to do so because over the next 6 months, this is going to be panning out for you. All right, so for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this Scorpio new moon is happening in your 7th house. So this represents new commitments, contracts, and interpersonal relationship dynamics. So this could bring in a new phase or a new stage with your relationships of all kinds, whether it's a new best friend or an elevation of an existing relationship. This represents a 6-month cycle of having to work through something. Now, keep in mind the energy that is associated with this new moon, like I previously mentioned. So take that into consideration that it might come with, some arguments or some disagreements, and is setting the tone for the next 6 months of what you have to kind of work through in your interpersonal connections. All right. So for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this Scorpio new moon is happening in your 6th house. So this represents new work routines, a health journey, or maybe even a diet. You could be working with new employees or a new employer. There might be a change in your daily habits or even focusing on like a legal situation coming down the line. Doesn't necessarily have to be anything negative, but it possibly could be considering the energy that's going on with this new moon. All right. So for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this Scorpio new moon is happening in your 5th house. So this represents new creative projects or hobbies that are emerging, connecting and building fun times, either with romantic partnerships or just kind of enjoying creative projects and your hobbies, right? So this could be a new start for those who are looking, to have children or those who already have children. Okay. So for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this is happening in your 4th house. So this new moon is bringing a new beginning within the home and family, starting a new home journey, buying a new home or moving, creating a new foundation. So new relationships from influential women also could be happening, or it could be that you are releasing certain relationships or dynamics or friendships or connections with other women, and you're embarking on a new way of how you have connected with those individuals. So self-care and safety begins to take a center stage or a center focus over the next 6 months. All right. So for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this Scorpio new moon is happening in your 3rd house. So this represents, the house of small business, education, skills, and trade. So you could be launching a new beginning regarding these things, your small business, education, utilizing a new skill or trade or certification that you have recently obtained. New relationships could also form within your community or your neighborhood, right? Because the 3rd house represents your neighborhood, even maybe with your siblings. That's 3rd house energy also. So this could also have you look into buying a new car or getting new maintenance on your existing vehicle. Your social life and your communication with your siblings and close friends could spark something new as well. All right. So for Libra, sun, moon, and rising, the Scorpio new moon is happening in your second house. So this indicates new income streams from over that could form over the next 6 months. So you're finding new ways to generate income as well as possessions, and you might start maybe a new diet that aligns more with your values or the things that you're having to do. Maybe you're going to put yourself on a strict budget or a strict diet. All right. So, excuse me, for Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising, this Scorpio new moon is in your sign. So it's directly affecting you. It's in your first house. So this indicates a new beginning on how you are seen and how you are projecting your energy outwardly to the world. So you might be starting something new. You might be actually be, you might be the one that's starting the arguments and the strife and the, just stating how you feel about things. You also could just really be rebranding yourself over the next 6 months and releasing the ways that no longer align or serve you any longer. Maybe even releasing individuals or people because, there could be some unexpected changes that come up in your relationships or within your interpersonal connections with, other people. And it causes you to change how you are showing up with others. Okay. Because Uranus is in your seventh house. All right. So for Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising, this Scorpio new moon is happening in your 12th house. So this indicates a new beginning within the mental health or healing or spirituality, possibly things coming undone during this time because the 12th house represents endings also. So this is taking moments of solitude to heal and dive deeper into your subconscious patterns or working on creative things behind the scenes. And this could also be just a healing journey in its own, right? So for Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising, this Scorpio new moon is happening in your 11th house. So this represents new friendships, new networking circles, and achieving goals. So it might be that you are face challenges, with doing so. But however, there's going to kind of bring this benefit over the next 6 months. So your social media presence and larger communities form over the next 6 months, helping you to kind of align to your vision for your life. All right. So for Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising, this Scorpio new moon is happening in your 10th house. And this is a house that represents your career and your responsibilities. So this indicates maybe a new career path and responsibilities to the world that come into focus over the next 6 months. And it's, could have recently gotten, you could have recently gotten a raise or maybe a new position. And this will require more responsibility. So it might come with some challenges. Okay. So for Pisces, sun, moon, and rising, last but not least, the Scorpio new moon is happening in your 9th house. So this represents a new beginning with regarding your life path, the things that you have set, your vision, the higher vision of your life, right? Traveling, higher education, maybe even your beliefs, right? So this could be you embarking on the discovery of new beliefs or the discovery of what your life's journey is or what your life path or what your destiny is, and just kind of figuring out how this is going to pan out over the next 6 months and, creating that plan in order to do so. All right. Maybe even like starting a new journey where you're planning a travel, excursion or something. You're planning something new. Okay. So with that being said, that is all that I have for the Scorpio new moon energy. I hope that this has been beneficial and helpful for you all. I look forward to connecting with you. Now keep watch and make sure that if you have not subscribed, that you do so right now, because I will be coming out with the full moon energy at the end of the month, and that's going to be its own reading, and we'll talk more in detail about that. Okay, so go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you have not done so right now, and also make sure you hit the description box so you can get your House of Chiron merch. You can book your Reiki and your astrology appointments as well, and get your free cheat sheet PDF. Okay, that's all I got. So y'all have a wonderful new moon. Set those intentions. Bye.